Soon? Soon? As in now? Do I have audio? Do I have audio? Hello, hello, hello? Huh? It's a bit noisy, but seems to work. Sorry about that. Whoa, it's very noisy. Let's try. Um, talking about the noise. Maybe close the window? Close windows. Nobody likes windows. Maybe you should format windows. Um, different headset incoming, so sorry about that. So, new format for the show. And last week, oh, please don't look at what we did last week. Just don't. It's. I looked at it and I was like, what the hell have I been doing? So, we'll let a bit of a warm-up phase now because people said, hey, I missed the first few minutes and didn't know what was going on. So I'm going to blabber a bit while people trickle in. So, doing the walking again? Doing the... I should do a startup dance. Oh, not taped. So, this seems super stable. Thank you. That's good. I like. So, as you might have guessed, I'm back in Spain. So I've been traveling to the UK last week and had to do an English test because apparently my English is not good enough to work in the UK. So I had to do an official test. Don't have the results yet. I'm sure I managed to do the 60%. I am sure I managed to do the 60%. If not, you probably don't understand a word I'm saying, right? So, new project, as you can see, RAR-RS, and I'm not going to tell you what RAR stands for at the moment. So, how do I do this? Different setup, different blah. So, I go into the corner and maybe, just maybe, if I look at what you're seeing, and I have a dead pixel on my screen. I have a freaking dead pixel on the new screen. Okay, you don't see the dead pixel. You see me in the corner. I'm green on my screen, but not on your screen. So, ooh, actually interesting. Interesting, because the main here is green, right? There is nothing that can fix that today because we're out of network ports and the switch is not arriving today. So I guess whenever I have something that is green, ooh, 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 I don't like this. Give me a second. Give me a second. Because that means probably... It means you see my nice green background, and this actually is the green of the wall, so too bad. Well, it is what it is. You see me in a green box. Welcome to Dreamland. Don't listen to me. So, have we wasted enough of everybody's time? Can we start this for good? So I decided 5 minutes of blabbering in the beginning is okay, right? So we fixed the green problem. You can actually read this, which should help because there's some green highlighting. So last week we started a new project, and the deal was for every episode I start a new branch and we merge whatever we did in the previous episode and in between while on the show, right? So you have to be careful now. So this is a project on GitHub, right? And we have some branches. And basically, I would like to create a pull request of this, right? I want episode 0, and that's why we do this, right? So you can follow along. So what did we do? We changed 7 files. I mean, obviously the cargo log, we're not interested. It's generated, so we create the cargo toml. This is basically a new file. Nothing special here. Package name, edition. We added a binary. We added anyhow as a dependency because we always use that for error handling. We added a lib that just includes the mod because the lib is where the logic is. The main is just the wrapper for the lib. A bit of boilerplate here, and then we created the RAR app. Good that I did that green thing, right? Because shall we have a look? Shall we just, what if different kind of green? Okay, so sorry, had to play with that. Stream quality is solid. Thanks for the info. This is the app, right? So this app is from the game, which we'll look into in a second, and we implement that interface, right? So we're working on, we did Fiish. I hope the audio levels are okay, because I have no way of knowing, and that's a bit concerning. So I wish there was audio meters on Twitch. So let me, oh, you cannot make this window smaller? Seriously, OBS? For crying out loud. Let's try this then. New setup still needs work, more gear incoming. That should make this stuff easier. Do you love my new pink blue hair? It was red, but the red faded away. Okay, so I think we might want to look into the game lib as well, right? Because we use OML game to extract stuff out of Fiish that we want to reuse, and that's the game wrapper. And the game wrapper starts the app, so we need to implement an app, and that's the RAR app, because we're in the RAR project. RAR. Is it RNR? R&R? RAR? Maybe I should have called it RNR, but blabber. So we have the setup, which sets the window title. We have the tear down. We have the is done. Yeah, if that returns true, we're done. We have the update with the window update context that says if escape is pressed, then we're done. Otherwise, we just print. If the mouse button is pressed, mouse button 0, I still want to kind of extract that away to say left, right, center mouse button maybe. We output it, and the render just does nothing right now, right? And then we have the main, and basically what the main does, it creates a new app and then tells game run, hey, I have an app. And then what we also did is I added a Rust format toml so we can run Rust format on the code. So never have to decide how we format it. We just let the tools do their job. So this pull request looks good to me. Technically, auto builder, blah, but basically this is the branch we're at, and there are no local changes, so the target, but I don't care. And this is basically the same thing we see here, right? So just to prove the point, and we have the same structure as the other projects, right? Oh, and I updated Rust. So if I press the mouse button here, look here, it outputs the mouse position. It's relative to the lower left corner. So 0 to 1. And that works. And if I press escape, you can't see that because I don't have the second camera, but the app closes, right? App done, tearing down. So I create a pull request out of this. And I call it episode 000. And we just merge this pull request, right? This pull request is more for you, so you see what I did. So I don't want to delete the branch for historic reasons. So what I will do is, if we look at main now, it has all the commits we guys just talked about. So if I do a git fetch here and say git checkout main, then rebase that and do a cargo run, it's all still working, right? So that was the easy part. So what we do now is git checkout dash b, just to be sure, git checkout dash b episode 001. So this will contain everything, and we push that to the origin, right? I know how to type it, but I'm just lazy. So we created the new branch, and next week or Thursday or whenever the next show is, we will do the same thing, right? So I probably have to refresh once here, and now we see episode 1 here, which is right now identical. Maybe we should write the README, write something in the README. Maybe. So there's one more thing. We had this OML game, right? We had OML game, and that had all the, we're going to go over this in a minute, but same thing here, right? We are on the branch, nothing to commit, just to make sure that we're clean. So we do the same. We do the same here. I didn't want auto-completion to show you the other projects I'm working on. OML game, right? We have our main branch, which was basically empty. We go to episode 0. And the thing is, I'm working locally on my local system, right? So if I go to the cargo toml here, I have a relative path. So when you check out manually and follow along, you have to make sure you use the right branches of stuff. Oh, it's hot in here, but it's noisy outside, so I can't open the window. So we do the same here, right? We go to this branch, commit, pull request, sorry, we create a new pull request. And we want to merge episode 1 into main, right? And again, Rust format, the toml. We did a bit of formatting on the window. That's mostly the auto format. Sorry about that. But basically, this is the app, the trait for the app with the setup, the tear down, the is done, the update, and the render. And all of them have default behaviors, so you don't have to override them or implement them. Because you might not want to have a render or a tear down or a is done, so we're not forcing you. Then we have the game, which is the logic we did actually on stream last time. So check the VOD, which is so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Basically, this is the run we just saw earlier, right? This is the game run here. We had some kerfuffle with lifetimes there because this app here needs to be static, unfortunately, but it is static because, yeah, we had some. I didn't remember the Rust syntax there, which was a bit embarrassing. So basically, yeah, debug prints probably should add tracing at some point. Maybe you should add a to-do. Actually, to-do. Where are my post-its? Who stole my post-its? No post-its here. So remind me, your job, your job, your job, your job, and your job, and your job, and your job. Yes, the green screen has a job. Remind me to create the to-do. I don't want to do it now because we're in the wrong branch and so it basically creates a new window. More about that later. calls the setup on the window, does some sets up the app, and then basically does a window run. And this move here is the reason of this window run here is a event loop of the window, and that's why it needs a static lifetime. Not my design choice. That's when you pull in crates, right? So, and then we pulled in, we added a lot of lib stuff, we added a lot of mass stuff, like the matrix stuff, 2.2 stuff, which we just copied over from the other project. It's just from Fiish, so I won't even go into that. Probably should have some test coverage, but yeah, matrix 3.2. We implemented these as we needed. So the matrix 3.3 here, and the matrix 4.4. So nothing special about here. Well, we have some orthographic projection, which will become interesting for the new project, but I won't spoil too much. We need the S pointer for the OpenGL driver. I think this formatting looked much nicer than this formatting, but Rust format for the win. We have a vector 2. We have a vector 2. We have a vector 3. And here it's interesting. Here's the window, and the window is basically gluten wrapped. So, and all that is copied from Fiish, so it was cut and paste. So there was no changes, almost no changes. We messed up the formatting, like here, which I still prefer this look, but let's stick to the rules. And yeah, so nothing special here, all copy and paste from Fiish. So far, so good. We have the window update context, and the formatting here actually looks nicer than the formatting here, I must admit. So win. Not a fan of this because I would like this to align with this, but well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a pull request for this where wait. What? Seriously? Oh, this is embarrassing, but okay, so oops. Let's pretend this was started on main, right? Okay. So let's reload this page. Wait. Wait, what did I do here? I don't want to install the update. Give me a second. Too many other repositories on this machine. Teasing problems, I would say. Oh. 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 So let me RAR, right? RAR. So what this should look like is basically this, right? So our episode 0 should be based on the initial commit, and then we can say, hey, merge them, right? Via pull request. Now this is challenging. Git merge with different history. I never did this before, so I hope somebody has some smart solution. So we do a git log. Oh. So what is he doing? What I don't get is, so so I will fix this off stream, right? Will I fix this off stream? Do we wipe the repository? No. So what we can do is, this will explode in our face, right? This doesn't help our case, but no, no. Okay, all our stuff is still here. I think we just nuked our repository. So this is main, right? This looks good. And this has a license and the README 5 minutes ago. So this is looking good, right? Why is this only showing the license? What if I do it the other way? I think GitHub is having a hiccup because I think I messed this up for good now. Wow, well done. So much for we render something today, right? How did I? So the thing is, we are on the branch, right? We are on episode 0. And we have everything we want, including the license and the empty README, right? And that was everything that was in the main branch. So what if we just override main with what we have? Forgive me? So we are on this commit, right? Tuesday, no. Something is, so here's the thing. This is a dead commit we just don't want anymore, right? Because it's basically here. We merged that over. So I want to get rid of this. We have this. We have this. We have this. So I want the commit of this, right? So this is the commit hash, the FE, and that's not this one. So I want to copy this, right? We could probably, so what we can do is we can do git check out this commit, right? In a detached state, right? So what if we do git check out -b main now? Yeah, man git branch rm. Is there a delete? Delete, 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 -d. Okay, first we delete the rm we accidentally created. And now we can check out main. So we're on main, we have all our stuff. And just to prove that, we go over to the other project and say cargo run. I'm making a mess here. What mess are we making? And I know you're loving the mess I'm making, right? Yeah, thank you. You are just loving the mess I'm making. You account for the win. But this is still working, right? So what we can do now is we can do git push. And we want to push to main. And that won't work, right? As expected. So we just say we forced this. And if you look at GitHub now, we have everything on main. We still have this unrelated thing, which, sorry about that. I don't know how I messed this up. And the log here is super annoying, right? But we need to that is sad, because technically this commit was before this commit, right? Or what was after? Madre mia. Well, we are having fun, right? So we're not touching OML game hopefully today anyway. So let's pretend that never happened and let's focus on this, right? So we are on episode 001. And as I say over there, we want to render something on the screen. And this is gonna be interesting, right? Because there was quite a bit of boilerplate we needed to do for Fiish, right? So this is Fiish on the right, and this is the new project. So what we need to do is, if I look at Fiish-RS, and we're going to do roughly the same structure, right? So we have the source, and we have the Fiish. I think this is, no, where's the app? Oh, here. Here's the app, right? So here's the Fiish app, and we have quite a bit in this setup. So we need to load files. We need to create a file system, abstraction. So we need a pack file. So we need system. So I would say, before we do any more mistakes here, right? We call it system, OML system. So basically the stuff that lives on the system here, right? So mostly file system. Mass is in game. Do we add system to game? Do we add system to game? Do we add system to game? I mean, we have mass, we have window. Let's not create too many libraries, right? I definitely, I want the renderer and potentially the audio, which will be a different story, but I think we add system to game, right? So we need to copy all of that over, and we just blindly copy that over and then tweak it as we need it. So we need a file system. So step one, we create a pack file, load data from a pack file, and print it to the command line, right? So what I basically want to do is no render effects, no registering, setup, right? We want a layered file system, just like here. And maybe we abstract that away as well. So let's create system, right? And I'm gonna forgive me. Just to be sure. Right? And right now, there's no change, so all of these are on the same commit, right? So if I create source system here, right? And adding empty folders in Git is always a bit, but what if source system and we go to Fiish-RS, source system, right? Ooh, nice colors. Let's just copy them all over and then right, and let me say git add source system star.rs. Yeah, git AD. And what's also missing is we probably have in source, we have a system RS, right? So we also copy that over. I don't like the structure, but maybe that is the better structure. And then we probably in lib use the system, right? So if we go to the too many windows here. So this is OML game. I wish I could right click and color them. Right? We add system here. So in theory, and here we are already on the right branch, right? So if I do a cargo build, this will blow up in my face now. So maybe, okay. So we have some dependencies, right? So what dependencies do we have? Looks like we are using something called there's next. Yes, we do. So cargo add there's next. Updating the index. This might take a while. Hey, welcome back. I'm on a juice thing. So and CRC. So I guess there's a CRC. Yeah. So in Rust 1.62, cargo add will be in cargo, and we don't need cargo added anymore, which is nice. So this build, which is nice. So let's build this. So it's building. I mean, that's a good start. I hope we pulled everything in. So here's the thing. We could go, okay. I keep forgetting the rules for this project. We do it simple. We don't overthink, we don't refactor, we just make it work with what we have. Copying over from the old project is okay, but we don't clean it up. That's the next project. We clean it up if we need it. Basically, in setup, what I would like to do, and all the magic with LinkedIn archives and stuff comes later, right? So all of this, we want an external pack file. Actually, we just use the data folder. Minimal. For development, we don't want pack files, right? So what we're going to do is in the app, in this setup, we say we create a layered file system. It's always good to start with a layered file system. That basically means hook in multiple file systems and it will search through them. Add file system disk. Looks about right. All right. Ignore the errors. I know they're there. But basically, we say raw data, right? And we say, okay, data and just super minimal, right? So this is what we want to work, and then we say, hey, we want where is this used? Why do we? Oh, this is for debugging, right? So basically, no. I thought I was in do not disturb mode. Give me a second to find out what I messed up here. I hope that was it. I'm sorry about that. I am so sorry about this. Where? Hello, my old friend. You're live on the stream. So this means we need a system, right? We need a system. We're not going into self-game file system. So in self, we have a system, right? That's easy enough. So we need a system, and that means thank you for helping me with the formatting, Rust format, but so how do we initialize the system? And the system is just system new. That was too simple, right? So hook it all up, and later when we're loading files, we use that system. But for step one, we want to make this work. And if I do a cargo check now, why didn't I do a check earlier? Oh, thanks, everybody's gone. I love you too, just because my phone rang. Oh, so we need system if we want system, right? Let's fix this, and there actually should be a button in here for that. And then we need file system layered if we use file system layered. And I hope that Rust format combines that. And we need, oh, okay. We had this little helper, right? Let's copy this over. It's basically a helper function in the app that adds file systems, right? Because we did that multiple times in the old thing. So we did that twice, so we extracted that, but there's no magic. It just it just checks if the star parse is absolute. If not, it does some magic to expand the current working directory, then creates a file system disk, which will probably complain right here. We can decide to enable a write, which is needed for the safe game file system, which we ignore, and then we just add it to the layered file system, right? Probably to do, consider moving this into game package. Because it's something we do for every game, right? So why not? Why not make it generic? And look, we don't have the file system disk. And just to make this look nice, well, let's do a check first. Okay, cargo, and I'm using some nightly features, so okay, it sorted them, but it didn't merge them at this level, which is probably okay for now. But the nice thing is, if I do a cargo run now, we hooked up the file system. We can load some files. We can load some files if we remembered how. So let's check system. How do we load files? So we have an open. Nah, I want a stream, right? I want a stream. So if I do an open, I get a stream. And we don't do any error checking here. We just die if the file doesn't exist. This is a game. If you mess up your files in a game, well, this gives you a stream. And then we can read that as string. So actually, I wanted this, right? I don't know what happened there. So for example, we read that in the render effects, right? So Wait, can you please just go there? I'm lazy, right? So what we can do is, so after we did all of this, right? We use self.system. And the name of that file was something, right? And this is a string reference, so we can, no, not here. Here, we can just do this. Oh, this is a something file. So this is something. All right, so we can do print line. Shall we? Shall we be daring? And it didn't load. Okay. It did not load. Now, that is interesting. So what went wrong? What went wrong there? Oh, empty. File system stream something dot RAR data slash something txt, right? And we explicitly add RAR data here, correct? Let's debug this. I hope we implemented this. So we have a disk file system. And there's a something.txt in that folder. So the path here is correct. I mean, this could be canonicalized, so this could kill this, but technically, no. So what we already do know is this system library, right? On the file system. I mean, we did open the file, so it's the read as string, right? That is. And we can get the size of the file. Shall we? Shall we check if it's valid? And yeah. So valid dot is valid, and we don't need the borrow here, and size. And that is the size method function. Pick your poison. So what? Valid is true and size is 0. Why is the size 0? So what if we give it a file? Nope, that does not exist, right? Hey, welcome back. It's still valid. Okay, this should be invalid, right? So we have file system disk, right? And we do an open. To do add debug functionality to system, but not today. Tracing, did I mention tracing? Okay. Okay. This is file system disk, right? So file system, can you just shut up? So we have a file system layered, right? Oops. Oops. So much for rendering today. So we need more debug. Exists in do we have multiple borrows? No, we don't, right? So self system, right? Oh, I'm such a bloody idiot. This belongs here. I mean, we had it here at the end of this, which is basically here, which is before we set the file system. So that should have been the first warning sign. And oops. This goes here, right? Okay, fair enough. Nice, right? Look, something. So we're loading text from a file. Okay, loading text from a file, and that's all what we wanted for today. No, we want the rendering. But this is system, so I'm gonna make a commit out of this. All right. So what we're gonna do is I wish. Didn't we have a debug in here somewhere? Yeah. We need to add tracing so we can debug this easier, but that's too much for today, right? So that's good, and then we reduce the noise here a bit. So we're loading info from a file, right? So this is something just to prove that we actually load this file, some other thing, right? So that's good. So OML game. We added CRC and DIRS next, yes. We added system and we added a lot of, so we added file system disk, we added the debug, we added this is a new file. basically all of these are new files we already added. So added system from Fiiish-RS, right? Extracted. Hey, anything, Joes? How are you doing? What have you been doing? We just started a new game. We literally started a new game last week, and now we're doing the boilerplate foundation for this. So lots of copying, pasting from the other project, which was Fish, see VODs wherever, YouTube obviously. That game is done, and now we extract the common code into OML game and create a new game called RAR-RS. Ooh, nice, Stella. Oh, we talked before, right? My brain is. Thanks for the raid. Very much appreciated. So we just committing everything we did. So this is basically hooking up the file system stuff. Create a system, we add the file system from disk. Maybe we move that to the game library too, so it's more reusable. Copy and paste. Had a bit of kerfuffle where I put the new code in the wrong folder. Ooh. Testing via output pixels. That's nice. That's a nice idea. I mean, automating testing is always hard, especially for games and emulators. So cool, cool stuff. I have to look at it at some point. Message me a link and I'll look at it later. So we stage this and basically hook up file system, load text from file and print it. Output it, lock it. So both committed, we do the rebase dance later, but at least we have a copy of it. So that is loading text files, right? Now for the interesting part, we said we want something on screen, right? So we need a renderer. And to be honest, we could put the renderer also into game. We could put the renderer into game. I mean, do we do small steps? Do we add the renderer also to game? Because the renderer, if you look at the renderer, it's dependent on system, right? So it needs system anyway. You could make it dependent on OML game, but rule number 2, we talked about this. Let's not overcomplicate things. So I will transplant the renderer as is also over into OML game. And for this, we use the old trick of long term. I hope somebody takes over one of these sub projects, or I pay somebody, but for now I want to make games, right? We copy this over, and while we're here, and sorry about the colors, we copy the renderer over, right? All edit. So if we do a cargo check here, I'm not sure what my watch is trying to tell me. It's not hooked up because in the lib here, we have to right. Okay, so I hope there's just a crate missing. I wish there was a way to stop the compiler at the first error. We'll have a look at it later. Thank you. Outdoor. I think we need a build RS for this. Yes. Oh. Where does outdoor come from? Where did we define outdoor? Oh, it's we probably need the GL generator, right? So I'm going to cheat here a bit. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to cheat here a bit because technically I want it here, right? Nope. Too many windows. Too many windows. So it's just a build dependency. And yes, we still need the, where is the start of this? So if we have the build RS, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to copy this because we don't have a build RS in here, I believe. Nope. And the thing is, the build RS doesn't go into the source folder, right? Yes, I do. Yes, we're using OpenGL directly, and the plan is actually once this project is done, we extract the renderer and do Vulkan and Metal implementations because I just want to get away from OpenGL for good. And we did that before, so the OpenGL to Metal transition is relatively painless. And to Vulkan, well, we shall see. So we don't need any of this. We need env, right? We need file, and we need path. So shall we check this again? Oh, this is going to download the OpenGL specs, right? Oh, no. Fish. Where? Where did fish come from? Ah. I don't like this because we were a bit sloppy when we developed this. Yeah, I've used OpenGL for, I don't know, 20 plus years, and I just want to. So the problem is the animated texture. We did this hack, right, where we passed in the animated texture configuration. And the problem with that is, oh, wait, that was an entities. Why? No, it's an entity itself. So wait. Wait. Fish entities. Didn't I just Oh, it's entity configuration. So we have an animated texture configuration. I mean, that looks like something. Prefix, number of digits, first frame, last frame, FPS. And then we have a nice, this is for easier configuration. So what we will do is, shortcuts all the way. And we're not using animated textures today, right? So I will put this here for the time being, and that should solve that. Don't look at this. Yeah, this is the wrong project. Here we want to edit, right? And remove this. Too many windows. I wish I could right click and color the background. That looked slightly better. Unresolved import debug renderer. Oh, the debug renderer. Yeah, because the renderer, if you remember, uses the debug renderer. Does it? Oh, for the output of the printing. So the debug renderer is a nasty hack that is gonna bite us now. So I do want the debug renderer. The question is, where does it go? I think we put the debug renderer. So technically, the debug renderer needs obviously the renderer for the color and the renderer, because it needs to render at the end. In the end frame, it needs the renderer. So I would say for the time being, we put the debug renderer from Fiiish. Debug renderer, and forgive me, in renderer, not in the source, in the we have a lot of cleaning up to do. But that's why we do this, right? To find crazy. And that is all over the place, let me guess. That is everywhere. No? We only use that for... Yes, I know. I hope format will just fix it for me. Getting there. Oh, obviously in renderer, and I'm not pub use debug, no, mod debug renderer, pub use debug renderer. Yeah, this is not what I want, but deboot, yeah. Big win for those who can type, right? Thousands of errors. yeah, we can just do pub mod here, right? Yeah. What? What? I just want to compile it, right? Was a long day again. Why? I mean, wait. Oh, yeah, obviously if we use it here, we don't have to do this at all, right? Duh. No debug renderer in renderer. Ah, I am not a fan of this. Not a fan of this. The module handling is always driving me crazy, right? We are in renderer. That's a problem for tomorrow, me. Okay, we need regex. Fair enough, because fish used regex. I don't know why, what I've been thinking. Which version? 1.5.6, and we've been using 1.5.4, so danger. Maybe we downgrade. And obviously lazy static. I mean, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Probably not really needed, but derivative. Okay, derivative is not added. We use that for easier debugging of structs. So we don't have to implement standard format debug for everything. And now is the time to update the crates index. Not my day. We're gonna get something on the screen today. Don't worry. Viewport is an excellent keyword, actually. Can you just not be stuck? Can you just not be stuck right now? Dip, 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 dip. Is it actually working? This terminal is not pulling down data. None at all. I'm gonna kill this, sorry, and try again. It was just stuck. Wait. Why is it working here and not here? This does not make me happy, because this will spread out like crazy, because we have the same in program. Probably we just copy the line, might be more useful. And we have the same in program, texture. Why? Texture? I think we're good. We're good. Oh, image. Image is an interesting one, because Image had a nasty bug and they changed their API, so this will probably not go well. Oh, 242. I'm pulling in far too many dependencies for simple stuff, so especially, for example, image, I would like to replace with a much better implementation, or much simpler with less dependencies. So this works, so let's see if this still works. We're not doing too bad, to be honest. We have most of the renderer in system. Now we only have to hook it up, right? What could go wrong? So what we could do is I like this approach, right? So in the app we have it. Don't ask why it's a ref cell option. Just don't. Just don't. So in the app we have a debug renderer, right? And that means we need, oh, now this is interesting. Well, this is the renderer, and probably now protection will kick us in the face. Oh, obviously OML game, and then protection will kick us in the face. I'm too lazy to type, so I'm just gonna, maybe we re-export that at a later step. But debug renderer is private, so yeah, no. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, right? Nothing to see here. And then obviously we have to add that field, right? Because this is initialize. And then, yeah, we put that, this goes here, right? And then we just initialize this to none. And nothing will happen, right? Really? Ref cell needs to be, okay. We don't need RC, right? We don't need RC, we just need the ref cell. We need both. I mean, they never go alone. And then obviously my initialization needs to be RC new of none. Right? There is reasons why we do it like this. So we can run without a debug renderer. Nice. And then, do we use I for debug renderer? Yeah. We're going to clean this up a bit. So in the update, if we press I and we don't have a debug renderer, then we create one. Ignore this. Otherwise, we remove it, right? So, oops. It helps to copy all the braces. Layer ID. Okay. To do, layer and effect IDs. Interesting. So that works, and if I press I have a debug renderer that does nothing, right? So we need a layer ID. Layer IDs. So the layer IDs are app specific, right? But we're gonna cheat again. Source RAR layer IDs .rs. So let's keep this simple, right? Layer IDs. Layer IDs. And we have effect IDs, right? And this probably is. I want to find a better way for this. Yeah. I want to find a better way to hook these up, right? I don't like the way we handle these IDs. They probably should be in a config file and be automatically built when we run the build RS, but what? Oh, my bad. Why don't you tell me? So that means in the app, we can go back to the layer IDs. Yes, I know they're not in scope. They are not in scope. Yeah, none. And neither of these is correct, right? Maybe we want to go the super route. So that works. So debug renderer set up. The problem is, so we still need to render it, right? Oh, this is interesting because the thing is we have two debug renderers. We have one that we can enable and disable, and one that's the lazy static one, right? Because this has the default debug renderer, but in Fish we use a specific one. And actually, I want to do this, right? So early in the update, we just say if we have a debug renderer, we begin the frame, right? Not going to actually. Nah, not at this point, right? And at the end of the update, we end the frame, but I want to do the add line actually, right? Now, vector 2. I'm not able to type anymore. So we have a new, so we can just say, we don't have colors, right? Where does the color come from? Where did the color come from? Oh, it's in renderer. It's in renderer. Okay, so this potentially might compile. We have to get vector 2 and color into scope, right? So we need use OML gain mass vector 2, and we need renderer color. Oh, true. Actually, it's a bit overkill, but so this is the global one. Oh, wrong. Yeah. My bad. We need a mutable version of that. We need to borrow it, right? Wait, what? Wait, what? what? Oh. Didn't see that. And yes, maybe it's time to slowly wind down. So this should still work. I mean, you don't see anything if I press I. Maybe enabled debug renderer, and this is it, disabled. And yes, we wanted to wrap all of this in better macros too. So far, so good. So we wanted to get rid of this, right? We just wanted debug renderer macro, add line macro that checks if the debug renderer is. So, and basically here in the render method, and please, in the render method, we don't have a renderer yet, right? But if we pretended we had a renderer, and that's what we actually wanted to do, right? So if we have a renderer and we keep the renderer, so let's create the renderer. All right, so, okay. I mean, why wouldn't we have a renderer? Maybe for performance tests, for example, right? So we have a renderer, and that renderer is actually initialized to none, right? Copy and paste, we're extracting from the, and I did it again. I did it again. So in the setup, we need to do some render setup, right? So we create a renderer, we give it the window and the system. We register a render effect. Just one, but I'm too lazy. So in setup, somewhere here, we create a renderer, we give it a window. That's why we need the window for the GL context to load the stuff. And right now I just which effect was our effect ID colored? So we only gonna load the colored, right? That means we need the colored shaders, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna steal the fish shaders. They're mine, so I'm allowed to steal. And for now, yeah, we're just gonna copy them manually into data, right? So this probably needs this whole block will only get called. No, wait, let's do it the other way around, right? So we're extracting all of this stuff to feel the pain of how hard it is to set up a new game, and this should be done in like 20 minutes, 5 minutes, ideally. So we only do any of this if we have a renderer, right? Let's wrap this here. Hmm? Okay. 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 Fair enough. We never used the renderer. Fair enough. Pattern non not covered. Yeah, actually, what do we do in the non case? We do nothing, right? I mean, we don't have a renderer. We could probably do a if let. Back then, I didn't know if let, right? Back then, I didn't know if let. That's when I was learning Rust, which I'm still doing right now. So nothing breaks, right? Everything is fine. So now we have to set up some render stuff, right? So we need the size and the viewport size. The renderer just needs this stuff, right? There's no way around it. So we need the size, self size, and viewport size, and scaling, because we know it will happen anyway, right? So we need these three. We initialize them to 0, 0, 1. No magic here. And then self.size is, there is some magic going on because, thank you, that was my screen that just went blank. I'm working too long. So the interesting thing is we need the viewport size, we need the scaling, and we need the size, right? So we copy all of this, and that's in the update after the key handling. I would say we do this here, right? Because the window update context gives us the window size. That gives us the viewport size. The scaling is our height is always 1024. That was nice for Fish because we had this tweakable windows. That aspect ratio didn't matter. Maybe we do the same. So we have viewport size, scaling, and size. I want to steal this too. I want to steal this too, just because. Just because. Cursor pauses a vector too. Yeah, that's fine. You can decide how to sort this later. And we initialize this to a 0 vector, right? Nice. Nothing broken. So if we go to render now, we're getting very, very, very close. So we set the size, we set the viewport, we get the color. Yeah, you could argue about this, but total time is nice, right? So we do this. Total time to be done, but I don't want to scroll up again. We set an orthographic matrix here, right? The model view projection matrix is orthographic. Sounds reasonable to me. This here is a bit confusing, but okay. We don't render the game. That would render the mouse pointer, but we could actually, nah, we debug render and then we have to end the frame, right? And actually we use the common debug renderer as well. We haven't set that up, but What could go wrong? I mean, oh, what could go wrong? We don't have the total time, right? We don't have the total time. We need the total time. We need that anyway, right? For our game update loop. So this will need a cleanup round, a massive cleanup round, right? We set total time to 0, makes sense. So all of this boilerplate is too much for a new project, and I want to absolutely get rid of it. And then in the update, maybe we do that very early, right? Maybe we keep this one here for later. And matrix, yes, use mass. Matrix 44, should have probably named matrix 4x4, but. And as you can see, you see nothing. What did we forget? Probably something in the setup. We register the, oh, we don't have a default window size, right? Did we mess that up? Did we actually, in the setup, we throw away the renderer? Ta-da! We do throw away the renderer. Maybe keep it, right? Maybe we keep it. You see the colored background? And if I move the mouse, nothing happens. But if I enable the debug renderer, that was good. That was good. Expected 2 hours to get here, so we even get render statistics down here. That's probably, I don't even know. So that's total vertices, materials with vertices and materials. So what we have is 0 vertices, 0 materials that have vertices, and 1 material. That's the default material. As soon as I enable the debug renderer, we have the debug material additionally to the default material, and that currently has 12 vertices. Why does it have 12 vertices for a line? Because it's a fat line, so that has 6 vertices, and we do draw the other line, right? We draw this line here, which is total random stranger. So this is 612. This is what we remembered, what we expected. So before we start to have too much fun here, do we want to have a little bit of fun? Okay, so what if fun was a back of vector 2? Just saying, right? And then fun is vec new. And then what if the mouse button, if the mouse button is down, this is gonna blow up in my face. No, if a key was pressed, right? If somewhere down here the fun key was pressed, right? Then how do we do this? Then we say self.fun.push right? So this is the debug renderer, and if I press F, nothing happens, right? But what if, oops, yeah, right? If let L sum L equals last fun, and we only do that if we have a debug renderer, right? Yeah. What if we add a line between last fun and this one? You still with me? You are still with me? I am not. Oh yeah, I want to borrow here. And obviously, I could just zip through pairs, yes. So I, to enable it, press F, press F, press F. Is this efficient? No. No, 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 no. Is this fun? Is this fun? Definitely. I am having fun with this, but I'm having so much fun that I'm going to stop this now. And the nice thing is, bonus points, it's scaling, but it's scaling so the virtual height is constant, which means if you have a jump and run, for example, we always get the same amount of tiles in the height. So if you go higher, they get bigger. If you go lower, they get smaller. If you go wider, you see more. And if you go smaller, you see less, right? I like this. But Houston, we have a render. And with that, what I'm going to do is, where is my... There. So, OML game, we add some stuff, we add the renderer and the animated texture, even if we don't need it, material, program, text layout. Oh, we have font rendering included. We have text rendering already. Isn't that nice? We need the build RS for the GL binding generator. And we have the debug renderer. So please tell me I'm on the right branch. Yes, I am. Add renderer from Fiiish-RS. That's in the usual place. So effect IDs, layer IDs, boilerplate app. Is that all? Oh, nope. Git add dot rar data. Right. So these are the colored shaders, and they're actually super trivial. I mean, the fragment shader just passes through the color, and the vertex shader just does the model view projection and sets the W value. So nothing special here. We had some fun with lines, so hook up basic rendering. Commit, rebase, push. Next stream is on Thursday. Let's see who is actually twitching. Let's see if somebody's online who we could hook up. Who is streaming Rust? Game's done quick? No. Vulkan? Nobody doing any Rust today? Okay. In this case, I'm the only Rust streamer online? I'm sorry about that. In that case, what I will do, I mean, all this stuff, if you want to follow along, OML Game is here, and we are in episode 1. I might do some cleanup in between things tomorrow, I'm not sure. I mean, probably what we could do is a cargo nightly FMT. Reformat. Right? We should have done that before the push. But we nightly. That's cleaner. I might do some minor scrubbing. Oh, touch to do. Do we want it in top level? Nah, I want it at this level, to be honest. Yeah. You know why I don't copy and paste this? Because my clipboard manager might have stuff from work. That's why I'm always extra careful. So, let's reload this. We have it to do. We still need to fill it. We have what we did today. Again, next stream we're going to go over we're going to create a pull request from this and go over this. And sorry for the kerfuffle with the unrelated histories. That was just I am so sorry. But we're making progress. I mean, soon we're going to be doing something in our game. Until then, please leave a follow. Would mean a lot. I'll upload episode 0 probably today, maybe tomorrow to YouTube as well. And then we go from there, right? So have fun. Thanks for being here. I hope the audio wasn't totally butchered. I'm out. See ya.